be live. Just get the stream up on my phone so I can follow along the chat a bit better. Yeah, I'd like to just hop on and just have a natter really. Yeah, some pretty cool things were have happened this week with Born Again and stuff. I don't know if I spoke about it much. I think I might have done. I don't know. I know I streamed, but it got cut off. It might have been last weekend, so I was the new episode hadn't come out yet, but I'm just gonna get the stream up so I can follow along. Oh, I forgot my headphones were connected. I'll just power them off for now. Just disconnecting. Are we on? Yeah, we're on. Wicked. Okay. Yeah, we're on. We're on. Nice. So, I guess first port of call is to talk about episode 6 of Daredevil Born Again season 2. Not many characters. Goldbrick. Well, actually, no, I'm going to leave Goldbrick off because I'm not really collecting it at the moment. Fast build, track studs, extra hearts. There you go. I guess the first port of call is to talk about Born Again Season 2, Episode 6. Obviously, when the Doomsday trailer does actually drop, I will probably have Iron Man and Doom, or Thor and Doom, or whoever I'm talking about that's actually in the trailer and this game at the same time. But, Episode 6 of Born Again, best episode of the season, without a doubt. I thought it was. I mean, it's very difficult because the last, I want to say, since episode 3, the show has just been I'd say the whole season, the show has just been getting so good. I think episode 3 hit a particular high for me. I loved episode 3. I thought episode 4 was amazing. Episode 5 was really emotional. And episode 6, I think, had all of that. It had those like epic moments. Lego. It had those epic, like, you know, those emotional beats. I think episode 6 just really did it for me in a way that and it's funny because episode 6 of season 1 was my favourite episode. So there's something about Daredevil episodes in episode 6 which just land for some reason. I don't understand it, but I'm not going to complain because it was effing awesome. I guess we can start by we can talk about the obvious big return, which unfortunately I can't really play as in this game because Jessica Jones wasn't added until Lego Marvel Avengers. However, as I just said her name, we can talk about the legend herself. Jessica Jones is back, and oh, it was so cool seeing her again. It was so cool seeing Jessica Jones back. Kristen Ritter is such an amazing actress. I loved her show. I thought she was absolutely brilliant. She was one of the best parts of Defenders. Her and Daredevil were my favourite parts of Defenders, if I'm being honest. Like I liked Iron Fist and Luke Cage, but there's just something about the dynamic between Jessica Jones and Daredevil which I just absolutely adore. So to have her back, and not only that, but she's back as a mother, so there's so many story opportunities there. She's really developed as a character in just one episode, you know, and it's so cool. And what I really thought the show did, and I'm so glad that they did it, because I as much as I love Matthew Lillard, I did feel like for a time that Mr. Charles was kind of pointless. To be honest, he's just one of those, rather than being like an imposing threat, it was just more of a thorn in Kingpin's side that Kingpin had managed to deal with. So the fact that Jessica Jones has now basically incorporated Mr. Charles into the wider story, and the fact that there's now some really cool fan theories which I hope are true, you know, I really hope that Mr. Charles is further incorporated into the story. Because it does sound like he is he's recruiting more enhanced beings. Obviously not mutants, but I have heard the theory of Mr. Charles actually being Henry Gyrick, who's obviously quite a massive X-Men character, and I would not mind if that's true. I actually kind of hope it is true. Like maybe Mr. Charles is a cover-up name for now, and the government is like, okay, we're gonna let you parade around as Mr. Charles, just because I think Matthew Lillard is that big of a character. I don't know if they'd want to cast him as an original character. I think Mr. Charles is a good alias, but Henry Gyrick is the actual name of and I am going with Henry Gyrick and not Boulevard Trask, because I think Boulevard Trask would hate any enhanced beings, but he's studying enhanced beings for Sentinel technology, and then when the Mutant Saga does roll around, that's when he's going to implement them. Obviously, he hates mutants, so I do hope that is the case. It'd be very interesting to see Henry Gyrick in the MCU, and especially introducing it in the Daredevil universe of Daredevil side of things, or like the Defender saga of the MCU, which I quite like because it's kind of standing out as its own thing at this point. The Defender saga, like, I don't really see it as Infinity Saga or Multiverse Saga. I know there's been some crossovers between, well, I guess, yeah, between the two. But I think it's really cool that the fact we're getting like more references. And going back to Jessica Jones, I think it's so cool the fact she's now a mum. I wasn't sure if they were going to do it, because last time we left off, I believe Luke Cage was dating Claire Temple, played by the wonderful Rosario Dawson. But my question to that now is Claire Temple going to come back, or is Disney able to persuade her to come back as Claire whilst also doing Ahsoka? I don't see why they wouldn't. It's just, it depends how much Lucasfilm is needing Rosario Dawson without having to resort to reshoots or recasting. Because if she was a major role, then I feel like they could just get away with it, like, you know. But if she was a minor role, I feel they could just get away with slotting her in reshoots. But by the looks of it, I don't know if there's any mention of where Claire Temple is in the MCU at the moment. And I think it's very possible that her and Luke Cage split up. Maybe during the blip, given the age of Danielle, she looks about, I want to say she's 7, 6. I know what I'm gonna do it. If anyone does a 6 or 7 in chat, I'm blocking them. I'm joking, but yeah, she looks about 6 or 7 years old. Please, no one be an idiot in chat. If anyone is watching, please, I beg you. Yeah, I think Danielle is probably about either 6 or yeah, no, she could be about 6 in the MCU. She could have been born, let's say if she was born 2019, that would make her around 6 by the time of, well, actually no, she'd be a bit older than that. She'd be about 8, because I think Born Again is set in 2027, so we're Spider-Man. Yeah, I'd say if she was born in, like, maybe during, well, I don't think the MCU ever had a COVID, because obviously there was no reference to it in Endgame, because it hadn't happened yet in real life. But yeah, maybe if Luke and Jessica had a baby during the blip, yeah, that'd be quite interesting. But Luke is also now working with Charles, by the sounds of it, and by the sounds of it, so is Iron Fist. So maybe we did get a proper Heroes for Hire thing, and Luke and Jessica are now on a bit of, like, rocky terms because Jessica stayed home with Danielle. So that'll be interesting to pick up in season 3, because obviously Luke and Danny are both returning in season 3, which I cannot wait for. And again, more bloody set pictures have come out, and I don't want to see him. I don't want to see him. Spoilers here. I'm just going to talk spoilers. So if you don't want to hear anything about season 3, feel free to click away. If you're watching this live or watching it, or watching the VOD after the stream's finished. But obviously, Kingpin is now in hiding by the looks of it with a big beard. So obviously, we know that he is going to lose at the end of the season and probably be indicted, and I don't know how you say it.
We should go check out that circus that's in town.
And also, Heather Glenn, by the looks of it, is going to take up the Muse mantle. So my theory about Heather potentially dying in season 2 has now been debunked. Which again, I'm happy to be wrong about, because I really, 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 really like the direction of Heather Glenn in this season. I think she's been so well portrayed by Margarita Levia. I don't know how to say her last name, but honestly, she's been such a fun watch this season, and I'm hoping we get some. I really want some scenes between Heather and Karen Page, because I think they've both got a bit of a violent streak at the moment. Obviously, in this episode, we saw Heather choking Buck the way that Muse was choking her, and you know, subsequently, part of the process is how she ended up with the amount of trauma that she has. And I'm really, 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 really glad that the show is exploring PTSD in a way, because there's so many different characters in the MCU that experience PTSD. But I think it's important to show that the individualized and personal ways that they can be done and it can be dealt with. And obviously for Heather, it's that she's kind of shutting down. She's seeing Muse. She kept his mask, and now it looks like she's going to fall down a very dark path and actually become Muse, which is crazy to think about. But I'm so glad that the show is doing it. But yeah. Anyway, the big moment I want to talk about, I'm going to go back to Kingpin. I just want to fly over to the raft so I can fight some of the douchebags on the raft. I want to talk about my favourite moment of the episode, other than JJ's return. Obviously, there was some beautiful stuff with Karen and Bullseye. I thought there was some really lovely scenes there, and the sort of the dual conflict. But the thing I want to talk about the most is after 8 years, we finally got the rematch of Daredevil versus the Kingpin, and oh my god, the amount of times I have watched this fight on repeat is insane. This fight, I think, is the best fight in the entire show. It's amazing. I genuinely think this fight scene might be the best one in the entire Born Again series at the moment, at least. You know, because I you know, controversial opinion, but I love Daredevil versus Bullseye in episode 1. I love Daredevil versus Muse in episode 6. In season 1, I loved the one-take fight scene in episode 3 of season 2. What the Red Hook breakout, Warner. I really like Daredevil and Bullseye's fight in episode 4, season 2, as well as the boxing match. But Kingpin versus Daredevil, and bearing in mind that Matt was the only one to get a word out of Kingpin in this episode. Like, he wouldn't speak until he saw Matt, and that's so poetic. Like, it's so poetic that the only one that can get through to Kingpin is his arch nemesis. Like, that is insane. Insane storytelling, perfect writing, absolutely brilliant. Vincent D'Onofrio must have had a really good vocal break for a few days shooting those scenes before the fight, and then probably destroyed his vocal cords in one go. But I just want to talk about the start of the scene, and then I'm going to go back and talk a bit about Karen and Bullseye as well, because I really like that scene. The shot of Kingpin sat watching, just looking at Rabbit in the snowstorm, and then you can just see Matt's horns creep up with this shadow, with a silhouette, just masking Fisk's face slightly, creating that that perfect comic book image was so cool. And obviously there was a brilliant comic book panel that was recreated at the end of the fight, but I'll get to that in a second. That shot was amazing. I honestly thought Fisk was imagining it for a second, because I was like, surely they're not going to fight. It's only episode 6. I thought they were going to fight at the season finale. Nope. We got a fight in episode 6, but we got a really major moment. You know, we got Matt apologize, you know, offering his condolences for Vanessa, and Fisk just losing it the entire episode. You know, bloody doing a Lenny from Of Mice and Men on Vanessa's doctor. You know, going absolutely crazy, and then the only person that can actually, you know, engage Fisk in a conversation is the person that Fisk hates the most. And, you know, the conversation itself was so well written, with Matt saying, like, look, this is our fault. The people we love, they keep dying, and it's down to us, so what would it take for us to stop? Because I'm not going to. And then Matt's like, if you leave New York, I'll leave New York. And I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, they're actually, you know, and Kingpin doesn't disagree. He doesn't disagree with Matt. He actually agrees with him, and he's like, yeah, you've got a point, but you've got a point, but I've got nothing left to lose. I've got nothing to gain, so I'm just going to keep doing it. And I'm like, it's so... And then obviously, Matt does mention that if those two had never met, both Vanessa and Foggy would still be alive. And that just sends Kingpin into an absolute frenzy. And the fight between the two of them, you know, Fisk is throwing all of these haymakers, and Matt is just, you know, dodging them and swaying out of the way effortlessly. Oh, he did that to the doctor. That's pretty cool, actually. Like a signature bear hug. You know, and then when Fisk actually does get his hand on Matt, he grabs Matt's wrist. He punches him, and then he grabs him by the leg and just launches him at the Rabbit in the Snowstorm painting, destroying the last piece of Vanessa that he has left. And also, you know, bearing in mind at the end of the original show in season 3, Matt had sort of sprayed Kingpin's blood on that painting, and now Kingpin has sprayed Matt's blood in it too. So both of their blood are now painting a picture in the Rabbit in the Snowstorm, and it's now shattered. Like, the cinematography of that is amazing. And then you get the sickest hand-to-hand. The choreography was breathtaking. You've got Matt using his billy clubs down to perfection. You've got Fisk, who is just going crazy. You know, headbutting him, backhanding him, punching him into a wall. The epic shot of them, you know, Matt trying to hit him with this billy club, and then Fisk punching him, and then the punch is too powerful, so it sends Matt backwards. And it's like the storytelling. See, I have choreographed fights before, and this is something I aspire to do. That level of detail in a fight scene is a genuine aspiration, because every move told a story, every punch told a story, every backhand, every headbutt. I mean, there's only one headbutt, but still, like, everything told a story, and the responses to it. The scene between them, the fight scene was almost just extended dialogue, but with fight choreo instead. It was brilliant. It is easily, considering it's probably the shortest fight we've had between the two of them in the 4 that they've had now. It's my favourite fight between Daredevil and Kingpin, and I'm going to exclusively say Daredevil and Kingpin here, because I think by that point Matt and Fisk are no more in that scene. They are gone. Matt is completely Daredevil, and Fisk is completely Kingpin in that scene. It's my favourite fight. it's probably one of the shortest fights they've had. But considering we've waited 8 years to watch these two get their hands on each other again, you know, we didn't get a fight between them in season 1. We got a beautiful diner scene, and then obviously episode 8 when he got shot, saving Fisk. But now it's like the gloves are definitely off, which is ironic because that was the title of episode 4 when Vanessa got injured. So the fact that, you know, they both fought it out in this episode, and we still have 2 episodes left as well. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some major casualties. Obviously we've got Brett coming back, Brett Mahoney. We've got the Punisher Punisher special presentation coming soon. There's basically like 3 weeks left of Daredevil content left, because even though the Punisher is a separate thing, it's coming out the week after the season finale, so it's almost like a bonus episode. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be a few characters crossing over. I strongly predict that we'll see Karen Page. I think we'll see and speaking of, we'll talk about Karen in a second, but I think we'll see Brett. I think we'll see a lot of characters that have crossed over. I really want to see Jessica Jones and the Punisher interact. That's something I really want to see. I've wanted it for years, but just to see a proper interaction between Jessica Jones and the Punisher, I think it'd be really interesting. I think there'd be a lot of interesting dialogue there, and a lot of like interesting character studies between the two, because I think there's a lot of differences between them, but also like some kind of like, you know, I think there's just that many differences. It'll be interesting to see them together. I think it'll be an epic clash of like what you do is wrong, but then Punisher's like, oh, well, you kill people too. I was like, yeah, but I do it because I have to. You do it because you want to. And then Punisher's like, no, I do it because I need to. And I just think it'd be a really interesting dynamic between Jessica Jones and the Punisher. Because even though the Punisher has no superpowers, he is the most violent and most visceral of any of the heroes in this corner of the Marvel universe. And now we're getting Punisher jumping to the wider MCU as well, with Spider-Man Brand New Day, and you know, now Spider-Man is entering this kind of fold that's been around since now, before even Tom Holland was cast as Spider-Man. Oh no, you know,
that guy doesn't look too good.
Before his first outing, that's Black Bullseye. Before he first appeared in Civil War. Okay, I want to talk a bit about Daredevil and Bullseye. Not Daredevil, more like Karen Page and Bullseye, because oh my god, that was incredible. I thought that was absolutely incredible. I love the fact that we got that beautifully written and performed argument between Matt and Karen regarding why doesn't Matt just kill Bullseye, because they'd be getting even for Foggy. And then Matt's like, I can't do it, and Karen's like, you know, Karen just utters some absolute bars in this. I'm gonna give him the Punisher's car, because why not? He's got a van, he doesn't need a car. Why is, there you go. He's got a van, he doesn't need a car as well. You know, I think there was just some really good lines all around, and really good dialogue between all these characters today. And then Karen's like, he still gets nightmares from Wesley, and it's like, that's great. I mean, it's not great if she gets nightmares, but it's great that, you know, they're acknowledging that major event in season 1 of the original show. And you know, they even flash back to it during the fight with Fisk, like, you know, before the fight with Fisk. I'm just like, this is so beautifully written and so beautifully like honouring the original show. It's like it feels more like Daredevil than Daredevil's ever been.
I just saw someone who was exactly.
My only hope now is that we start getting those little callbacks to the other shows as well, like Jessica Jones. Although we did briefly with Jessica's like theme, which I thought was a really nice touch. That was a lovely touch actually. I thought that was really nice. But I thought the scene itself between Karen and Bullseye with Bullseye, you know, doing his classic "Hello, Karen," and then Karen's just like, you know what, fuck this. Hello, Benjamin. I don't think Bullseye would have expected that, but it was also like, okay, cool. He's not backing down. Because I think Bullseye wants Karen to kill him. I think he does, but obviously he knows he can get her to do that. But Matt will put his foot down, and be like, no, you're not doing that. Otherwise, you know, Foggy died for nothing. And I really love this idea of not so much redemption, but like, you know, making an example of Bullseye. You know, he escaped prison. Prison was never going to keep him forever. You know, he's lucky he got about. If we look at the time frame of Born Again, I would say Bullseye got maybe he actually did about, I'll say maybe 5 or 6 months before he broke out of prison. So yeah, I want to say that it was around that time where he got out, because he got sentenced a year after Foggy's death, which was just before New Year, I think. Yeah. But yeah, I cannot wait to see you know, where they're going with Bullseye, because I do think they've got a lot planned for Bullseye in this show, and this universe as well. I think there's a strong chance that he could be written out of the show, and Wilson Bethel could begin playing Bullseye in like the Thunderbolts or the Masters of Evil, or you know, other things outside of the Defender saga. I'd love to see. I mean, obviously, when it comes to Punisher, the one thing we all need to see is him fight, or Bullseye fight the one and only Punisher. Like, I think everyone needs that at this point. Everyone needs to see that fight. I think I need to see it. The whole fan base needs to see it. Yeah, everyone wants to see them fight. But I think also, I want to see characters like Spider-Man fighting Bullseye. I just think it'd be a really interesting thing to have all these different characters go up against the Defenders villains, because there's so many like interesting characters in the Defenders saga that need to be explored more in a wider way. Like obviously, Kingpin and Spider-Man fighting, Kingpin and Bullseye, Punisher and Tombstone, which is now going to be possible because both are going to be in Brand New Day. And I'm very excited to see Tombstone enter the underground crime syndicate, which I think would be a great stepping off point for Kingpin. In a way, like I think it'd be nice to see him, you know, go into hiding and then like let other villains within the crime, like the crime world of New York City, like rise. I want to see like Tombstone, maybe even Hammerhead. I do find Hammerhead a bit boring, but I wouldn't mind if it means getting more like crime bosses to see Spider-Man and Punisher and Daredevil fight. Yeah, I think it'd be really, really cool to get. Yeah, really want to see this. I think it'd be so cool to get them. What was I going to say? I could say about Jessica Jones. Oh, I still need to get a scene between Karen Page and Jessica Jones, because they've spoken, they've interacted like off camera, off screen, but I want to see them both interact. I don't think we get many ladies interacting in these shows. I think we need more. It was nice seeing Karen and BB interact in episode 1. I thought that was really, really cool. I want to see Karen and Jessica Jones interact, because I think that'd be a really, really cool scene. Really cool, like, pairing of two quite like iconic characters, you know. I just think it'd be really, really, really cool. Yeah, what else do I have to say about the episode? I can't really think. Yeah. Oh, the riot at the end. That was terrifying. That reminded me of episode 2 when Angela Del Toro's mum got arrested. Not mum, auntie got arrested. Or I don't know. I don't know if you know what the relationship is there, but like when yeah, Angela Del Toro. When her mum got arrested, the riot was terrifying. It was really well put together. I thought the like the scenes and stuff, and the intercutting with the fight. It's almost like this is the two leaders of this rebellion, and the Empire are clashing. I guess it sounds more like Star Wars when I say it that way. I guess it kind of is. But it is like Star Wars. Oh shoot, the fan's broken. Let's have the Kingpin fight the Red Hulk. Not that this fight will probably ever happen, but one can dream. It'd be pretty cool seeing Harrison Ford and Vincent D'Onofrio interact. One second. Lovely stuff. What was I even saying? I completely forgot what I was saying. Brain's gone blank. I know I was talking about Jessica Jones and Karen Page. You know, I know it's going to happen because there's that shot in one of the teasers of like, oh, that was it. Talking about the riot, that was it. Because you've got Matt and Fisk fighting it out, who are like the leaders of Fisk's like empire, and then the Vigilante Rebellion, and then like you've got the actual riot going on. It's like it's so well shot, but it's also quite eerie, like because obviously of what's going on in the world at the moment with I was gonna say ICE. You know, I'm not in America. It's not like they can come to find me, but there's a lot of parallels. And it's like, it's so scary how this show was shot, like, before, like, the worst of it started to happen. So it's like, almost feels like a bit of a social commentary as well. But, yeah, it's just been brilliant. Like, honestly, Karen is now has gotten arrested. I wonder who's going to break her out. I think, weirdly, I strongly think it's probably going to be Matt who breaks her out of prison. I kind of hope it's either Dex or Frank. I don't know. I just think it'd be so interesting if, like, you know, Karen's in because I'm pretty sure that Matt and Karen are probably going to break up this season. As much as it's been so sweet seeing them together, I think the stress of this war is going to break them up, and then we'll see that love triangle that was hinted in the season 1 finale between Matt, Karen, and Frank start to really take force. I can see Karen leaving Matt again, and this time, rather than going back to San Francisco, she'll fall into the arms of Frank Castle, the Punisher, and then that'll cause a major, like, epic conflict. I mean, I do think Karen is going to be, she's going to have a major role in season 3. I can see Karen possibly ending up on trial given some of the set photos, it looks like Karen's wearing a suit of some sort. I think Karen could end up on trial, and Matt ends up in prison. Because obviously, in the eyes of the law, Karen Page is an aider and abettor of a vigilante, so she'd be facing criminal charges. But I do think it would be really, really cool if we saw... Because I'm going to say this much. Glenn Powell needs to die. Is it? No, it's not Glenn Powell. Officer Powell needs... I cannot believe what I just said there. Okay, I'm going to pretend that never happened. Officer Powell, not the actor. The actor's done nothing wrong. Officer Powell needs to die. God, I wish I could go back and just cut that, but we're live, so fuck it, we'll roll. Christ's sake, I've proper made a tit of myself there. Officer Powell needs to die. I think by the end of this season, someone's going to take out Powell. My predictions are Karen, Dex, and my major wild card, Frank. I don't think Frank is going to be in season 2 at all, but there is that slight chance he could make a cameo, break her out of prison, and then have that like last little bit of build-up. Maybe they do a bit of like time stuff where they start the presentation just after, because you've got to remember there's 6 months set between Born Again seasons 1 and season 2, so maybe the presentation starts before Frank potentially saves her, or you know, oh, fighting curse now, nice. Oh, cool. Shoot bitch. You know, you can have. There you go. It's better. Like, I think Dex saving Karen would be a very interesting, you know, plot development. Because, you know, obviously, Matt saved Dex. I think Dex saving Karen would be a great, you know, story development. I just think it'd be kind of a cop-out with Matt saving Karen. I wouldn't mind if he did. I just think it'd be great for the story, for someone else to save her. You know, break her out of prison. Or she does it herself. Maybe she just does it herself. I mean, I think she's more than capable of doing so. So maybe she breaks herself out of prison and she kills Powell. Because I don't see Powell making it post season 2. It makes no sense. He's done way too much. He literally blew out Saunders' his brains out. Saunders. He blew out Saunders' brains out. Accused the rebels of doing it, and then started opening like lethal fire on the protesters. And it's like, this guy has done way too. He's way too corrupt to, you know, have any kind of like redemption arc or anything like that. I think it could be. I mean, one character who I hope doesn't take out Powell is Cole North, because, and I'm gonna be honest, this is my one like criticism with the season so far, is Cole North coming back really makes no sense. I think he just should have died in the penthouse in the season 1 finale when the grenade was set off. I don't understand what's happened, because he's come back and now he's got a conscience. I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's cool that he could probably have a showdown with, you know, Angela. I think I'm gonna Google the name quickly. Born Again. Because I swear it's Angela Del Toro. Born Again. Angela Del Toro, that's it. Yeah. Hector Ayala's niece. Because Angela Del Toro. I think we're going to get that showdown between Cole North and Angela Del Toro for murdering Hector. But I just don't know. You know, I don't know if it needs to happen in this season. And why is Cole North getting such like a conscience all of a sudden? He had no problems blowing out Hector's brains out. Literally just after he was found not guilty and exonerated for his for the trial. And I'm just like, what? That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Why has he got a conscience all of a sudden? Did the near-death experience in the penthouse just change him? And even then, that doesn't make really much sense. So, I think something's got to happen with White Tiger, and obviously Cole North. Otherwise, I don't see the point in him coming back. I didn't think he needed to come back. I thought his story was wrapped up nicely, but it's quite obvious they're saving him for the big showdown. And speaking of, there's quite a few characters in the show that I think need a comeuppance, even if they've not done much stuff that is as bad. You know, as Fisk and Vanessa. Like, for example, where the hell is where's Sheila's comeuppance? Because I know Sheila's meant to be someone that we root for. She literally sold Gallo to his death. She literally like sent Gallo to his death. I don't think that the Gallo's murder is done yet. I think they're going to investigate that in season 3 and have it be revealed that Sheila was partly responsible for it, and then that's going to lose her the election, because it looks like she's running for mayor, and it looks like she'll get it because obviously she's in the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. So I think that Sheila could be mayor for a bit, but then that's going to come out and she'll have to be indicted. Just because I think it makes no sense that, you know, we all now have to root for Sheila when she literally sent an innocent man to his death. Because surely she knew that Fisk would not, you know, just like give him a telling off and sack him. No, he was going to kill him. And, you know, they staged it so that it looked like Gallo died in a robbery. Not a robbery, in a car accident. But realistically, if you look at the autopsy, or if one was ever taken, if you looked at the disgusting like state that Gallo was left in, I'm pretty sure it's hard for a car accident to rip your jaw in half. You know, like, and then be like, what's went on here? I don't know. I'd love to see Jessica Jones investigate that. I think that'd be a brilliant storyline for her. For Jessica Jones to investigate the killing of Commissioner Gallo. I think it'd be, you know, give it a Jessica Jones like presentation or something. I'm not saying give her a new show. I don't think they all need new shows. I think the problem with the original Netflix run is there were too many shows, you know. I think maybe keep Born Again and then do like special presentations, and then keep these characters as regulars on Daredevil Born Again, or put them in the movies like they're doing with Punisher. You know, I think that's the best way forward with it. Unless you do a Defenders movie, like I want that. I really want. I pitched to myself Defenders: The Devil's Reign, but it'd be like a Born Again situation where the name of the comic book is not, you know, the name Born Again is not the story that they did in season 1. Born Again was the comic book run was what they did in season 3 with Bullseye. But you know, it'd be pretty cool to get the Defenders reuniting. I'm just not sure against who at the moment. You know, there's some options. I think it'd be pretty cool to see them get. I don't want to see him fight Fisk again, just because I think Kingpin is probably going to have to go on a back foot for a bit. But like, we'll see what they do with Muse. Obviously, Lady Muse is now happening. Heather is taking on the Muse persona in season 3, so it could be that we get, you know, we get a new serial killer on the scene. I just think it'd be really cool. It'd be really cool to see. I'd be quite interested in doing that. Oh, there you go. But yeah. Hopefully we get the big fight of Frank vs Bullseye down the line, but I want to see Jessica Jones get in on some of these like Daredevil character interactions. Like, I want to see Daredevil and Jessica Jones discuss what's gone on over the course of the last couple of years, because they've all obviously impacted each other. You know, with what happened at the end of the Defenders, what happened with what do you call it? I mean, Fisk getting into office. It was actually cool hearing Jessica Jones say Fisk's name for the first time. Like, I was wondering how the task force like impacts other characters, and by the sounds of it, it looked like Daredevil was able to either relocate Jess, or like Jess had already relocated and be like, look, stay out of New York, this is going down, and Jess be like, do you want a hand? And Matt's like, nah, I'm good. And she comes in and helps anyway. But yeah, all in all, amazing episode. One of the best of the season, if not the best. Again, every episode is just leveled up. Episode 3 I've got a soft spot for, but at the same time, episode 6 has been amazing. Which is funny because episode 6 in season 1 was my favourite of that season. I really hope that these next 2 episodes really do stick the landing, because if not, I will be so upset, because this season has been the best like season of a Marvel TV show that Marvel have made, like, without competition, in my opinion. Like, there's so many good things about this season, and it's been amazing, and I cannot wait to see season 3. But more important, I can't wait to see how this season wraps up and then ties into the Punisher presentation, and then Spider-Man Brand New Day, and then like anything else. Because at the moment, I think this like quarter of the MCU, the street level TV side of things, is carrying the entire franchise. I think Born Again, you know, I love things like Thunderbolt and Fantastic Four and Deadpool, Wolverine. I can't wait for Doomsday, but I think there's been a real like consistency since the overhaul, and now we're in completely like free reign, and it's been so fun. And I forgot to mention, you know, I was referring to it earlier, but the final shot of the fight as well between Daredevil and Kingpin, where Matt did that signature like knee with the billy clubs, was so good. Literally one of the coolest, in fact, dare I say, the best comic book, like, you know, live action comic book panel since Civil War, with Tony and Steve like fighting. The best one since. I think that was amazing. Like, that's something else to talk about with the fight. I thought that was absolutely excellent. Absolutely excellent. This show is a love letter to Daredevil fans, to the Netflix fans, to, you know, anyone that appreciates the work that went in over a decade ago. You know, with the cutting backs to the past show, with like the wedding and stuff. It was just amazing. The whole thing from start to finish, I'd honestly say, is probably a 9.8 out of 10. I think the Cole North thing was very jarring. I don't understand why he's back. I don't get the point of him. and I think Powell needs to be shut down, like put down completely. He is a horrible, horrible character. He's portrayed brilliantly, don't get me wrong. The actor who plays Powell is incredible. He's such a good actor. I'm also kind of confused what's happening with the whole Daniel Blake thing as well. Oh, that's a minor complaint I've got there. I don't dislike it, I just don't understand it. I think, you know, either get to the point with Daniel Blake's storyline or just kill him off. Because again, I think come season 3, a lot of these characters will have no place left. Once this storyline is done, in the next 2 episodes, I think, you know, once Fisk is out of office, we do not need Daniel Blake. We don't need him. BB Uric, I think they need to get to the point with her and have her, you know, because I feel like her whole point is to honour Ben Uric and get justice for him. As far as I'm concerned, get to the point with it, because I don't really get it. It's not really working for me. But with that being said, I still love the episode, like, completely. It's just those 2 little things I think held it back a little bit from being a 10 out of 10. But still a 9.8 out of 10. Genuinely, one of the best episodes I've ever seen from a Daredevil show. All I need now is my Punisher in season 2. But then I'm not going to be upset if he's not, because obviously he's going to be with Spider-Man, and he's also doing his own thing soon. I need to see my boys. I need to see Luke Cage back. Give me more Jessica Jones, because her return was just so worth the wait. Fantastic episode. Genuinely, I think, hands down, the most, like, honouring episode of the original show to date. Other than, well, that and episode 5 as well. You know, I think both episode 5 and episode 6 have been roller coasters, and I really hope 7 and 8 live up to it, because it's been amazing. I'm going to do this race and then probably wrap up the stream as well, because I've been talking for ages. Plus we've got lines to learn for Tuesday. So, yeah. By the way, a video should be coming out hopefully by Tuesday. I'm going to talk about my new company that I'm with, spread a bit of love about that, because I'm really passionate about it. But, yeah. With that being said, I'm just going to blow up this car or something. There you go. With that being said, I'm probably going to wrap up the stream here. And then, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for checking out this stream. If you've watched it live or watched it on demand, I should have just renamed it to Reviewing Born Again Season 2 Episode 6. But Saturday Streamage just sounds sillier and funnier. Massive thank you. I love you all for watching, and peace out. Bye bye.